It's usually like hard ass work.
Right.
They don't want to see what's behind the curtain. They're like,
Right.
I like that curtain like it is. You mean like you had to work like a fucking animal to get that? I'm like, yeah. Make it look easy.
So those are wireless headphones you got? Just
Yeah, no,
like-
these are great. Yeah, they're good for like phone calls and for music.
Really?
Yeah, and then yeah, so then I just I can just take a walk. They were like 50% off, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna buy this.
What's it, 200?
No, they were like $65.
Wow, they
Like
actually
almost
work,
as-
huh?
Yeah, they sound great. Yeah, I mean they're like almost the same as like just the earbuds. The price wise, almost cheaper actually.
Wow.
Cheaper than the Apple earbuds for sure. Yeah. And I'd rather have this, man. Like if
They
I'm
got
gonna
those at Best Buy?
yeah, Best Buy, Macy's, and the line. Yeah.
And JBLs.
Yes, I'll send the model. It's like 70 or 4 something, 460, 460 lot.
It's interesting, that we're talking about headphones, but as you know, with artists and creative people, music is a very big part of our life and our existence. And so something as simple as then trying to figure out how do you get this shit affordable right now with this inflationary prices and dealing with this horse shit out here that just dropping over here today. In other words, it's cheap, but it ain't no good. So we look at it and it's like, okay, that's the price point works, but then what you get don't work. It doesn't make any sense. So you just end up throwing it away and you can't even create art from that, that bullshit. At least I haven't figured out a way to do it. Maybe somebody else can figure out a way to do that.
And then for me, like I see like the world of like things like headphones and cell phones. Like they're just machines. It's like they need to just all have we need to have like a consistent like quality function. Like across the board. Then it's like it comes down to
David
who's making the
Joseph.
software. If you make dope software for the hardware, it's like I think that's ultimately like where it's going to be at. It's like so you should be able to buy a pair of headphones for like $15. That could sound great, and then just how you tweak it, how you adjust it. I mean, like $100 pair of headphones, $200 pair of headphones, dude. Like, obviously they had R&D and research money, and had money in their app and software. Like, it probably cost them like $20, $25 to manufacture it, and then $10 to have it delivered or less, and then they mark it up from like $30 to $200,
I love it. Yeah, I just been in with the art. I don't know, it's kind of in a different vibe right now, just because I can't. So I just been like fucking just running through some shit in a fucking in such a groove right now, and it's like, I got like still in the. Not worrying about the money parts. I'm moving art for $5 and giving it away and selling it, trying to get whatever, and creating it off of cardboard. And it's just fucking, it's all people giving me shit to sell to other people and giving me paint to keep it going. So it's just.
you get in the flow, the river of flow. It's a flow, It's like a lot of people, they say, oh, well, I would be an artist, or I'd do this or that if only I had this or this, or I had this guarantee. There's life doesn't have guarantees, but but it's like once you kind of just start doing, again, like you said, it's like you get all the resources you need. You get all of the.
It's a grind.
Yeah.
You're not willing to put the work in.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people aren't. It's like that's the trick. You got to put in the time, work, and like just keep exploring like who you are, what you are creatively, and whether you're a technology person, musician, painter, filmmaker.
Well, I think the problem of it is with a lot of the young guys, they want that, but at the same time, they want the comfort. So yesterday I had to set up in Piedmont Park, and that's my spot. Been there for 12 years, for instance. And I had probably 75 paintings out there, and a young guy, he Ubers in, and he's got maybe, like 5 blank canvases, and I'm sure he's told everybody that knows him, he's a big-time artist, and it's like, that's it. And I smiled and I was like, that's how you get started. But you actually have to put that work in. got to get out of there. That money that you spent at Uber, that's money that you can get on the bus. You got to walk. Hey, my friend. And so that's what you got to do with that thing. You got to get out of that whole, comfort, and then that's where, and that's what a lot of guys don't want to do.
Well, they want to be they want to be Prince without learning how to play 50 instruments like Prince. Because
you got to put the time in.
Even though he was, people like that are like incredibly fast to learn things. Like, artists who do great work and artists who work, artists who work and artists who do great work. They have the one thing in common is it's constant ritual, right? And that ritual is often uncomfortable.
Passion.
It's often uncomfortable.
That passion.
You get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Later,
and then that passion, once you get to a certain level, that's the difference when you see that passion turns into an artistry, and then that artistry creates more passion, and then that competitive comes out, and what makes you want to put more work in, and that's how you become the best painter alive. That's how you become David Joseph, one of the top film guys in the city.
Well, even for me, like with my photography work, I got to for years I was kind of the other person. Like, I would see an idea, with a digital camera, I would snap, right? And then, of course, with my phone, I might take a whole bunch of photos like that, right? But when I'm shooting like my art photography, I've got to where well, I went back to shooting everything on camera film about 5 years ago. Nice.
You got a chapel, we got a chapel. I ain't mad at that.
Nice gear. Yeah, nice. I got a couple of good pieces. Yeah, and so that's definitely nice. It's like so we were just admiring some of the other, like I love the technology equipment, and I love guns too. So we're just admiring a gun. So that was that's good. I love all kinds of different interesting weapons. I carry this knife, and it's great for all kinds of stuff, but it's also got its
They got two guys too. You got two.
They're moving gear.
You ain't got one guy. How to be doing all that smash and burn shit.
So this has got a nice curve to it.
In other words, Linda, sure.
Oh yeah, it's a little bit. But I carry this here. Yeah, man. Guns and art. I like them both. A lot of my liberal friends will be like, "What? I love my guns." Yeah. I did grow up in the South. Makes sense.
It's all over, man. In the Midwest, I got, especially in Ohio and places, there's more guns out there. That shit is even more everything up there. So it's,
We're over here. One of our buddies' places in Atlanta, watches and jewelry, luxury watches and jewelry. For a few years now, I've had an obsession with wanting to buy this type of watch. It's called a chronograph. And so they are one of the few places around Atlanta that sells like actual chronograph watches. So I've been obsessed with that idea.
how much is it?
I think the cheapest one they have was like $3,400 the last time I looked at it. That's good. It's a type of watch, right? So it's what the Apollo astronauts use when they weren't able to use it to fire their engine. So it's like a regular watch, right? But it's got seconds, minutes, and hours. Seconds, minutes, and hours, and you can stop it. So you can pause the minutes and seconds, right? So they would use it and like pause, and then add it up, right? So that the watch lets you, like, it's the old school way of being able to add up shit, Yeah. So like they used to use like watches like that, before they had computers and calculators and shit, right? So they'd use the watch, and they would count the minutes and seconds or apply the numbers, whatever. And so like that's the standard astronaut watch. Every astronaut, when they get chosen by NASA, they're given like a custom NASA chronograph watch. They're like, with this watch, if all else fails, you can fly that space shuttle back in the atmosphere safely by using this watch. And knowing how to use just these hands, you can re-enter your space shuttle.
All right, I got to get out of here.
That's cool.
I think maybe we'll call this the first unofficial, official. I've been thinking about doing a podcast, and maybe this would be the start of
It's kind of all the
Straight
things.
Illness, Straight Illness podcast. So
Excellent.
slow us down, bro. I'm getting the fuck out of here and get some breakfast. You know,
Yep,
smoking, and I need to fucking eat.
And I'm gonna get back on the camera train and make sure this software for this new camera looks great.
Yeah, let's get over there.
Rock and roll.
Peace.
Okay.